The National Coalition of 100 Black Women Delaware Chapter presents Sisters Saving Sisters Beyond the Mask. In keeping with our mission to advocate on behalf of Black women and girls in the areas of health, education, and economic empowerment, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Delaware Chapter has been awarded a CARES Health Equity Grant. This grant has been used to develop culturally competent and relevant strategies, programs, and materials to address the impact of COVID-19 on African American women. Our goal is to provide resources that speak directly to the needs and the concerns of Black women in Delaware. We aim to provide a network of support during this time of uncertainty. In Delaware, 82% of Black mothers are key family breadwinners. Given existing wealth and wage disparities, it is far more likely that Black women will have a harder time recovering from both the health as well as the economic impact of the pandemic. Please join us for Sisters Saving Sisters Beyond the Mask.
Every once in a while, there are questions on Facebook that may say something like, tell your age by sharing an artifact, and they might be referring to a candy bar or something like that that existed during your time frame. So if I were going to tell my age without telling my age, I would say that one of the things that was cool were velvet black light pictures. I know I'm telling about my age because everybody's not going to remember that. But I remember we had one that had this really cool quote on it. And the quote said, "If you love somebody, let them go. If they come back, they're yours. And if they don't, they never were." Very thought-provoking. Today, we're going to be talking about letting go of the old and making way for the new. I'm your host, Kim Graham, and I'll be walking you on that journey today. I'm a part of the Delaware State University family, where I am an adjunct professor, as well as the coordinator of the Trauma Academy, which is exploring all of the ways that we can promote healing in our community from the traumas that we face in day-to-day living. So, when I thought about that quote, it made me wonder, if you lose it, does it mean that it was never yours? I don't know if that's the case. Sometimes we lose things that are very precious to us. Sometimes the things need to go away, and sometimes we didn't have a lot of voice in it. But the question still remains, what exactly are we going to do about it? I heard a story about two monks walking along their journey on their way home. They reached a river, and as they were about to cross the river, there was a woman who could not get across. And the older monk lifted her up and carried her across the river. They landed, she went on her way. He and his companion walked another 5 miles. His companion was fuming. Finally, the older monk said, "Why are you so angry?" And the younger monk said, "You picked up that woman, and you know that we are not supposed to touch women." And the older monk said, "I let that woman go 5 miles ago, and you are still carrying her." What a thought. There are times where we just hold on because we just let thoughts run on in our minds. We let people run on in our minds when the time to let them go has already come and gone. Why do we hold on? Why do we keep things so tight to us instead of letting them go? So that's what we're going to talk about today. What I'd like for you to do is to find a piece of paper so that you can begin to make a list. We're going to ask you some questions as we go through our discussion today so that you can have an opportunity to reflect on the things that you would like to let go of. Now, This pandemic has caused us to have to let go of socializing to the degree that we would like to. We may have had to let go of time doing activities that were precious to us. Some of us have had to re-examine relationships that we have been in, whether it's due to the pandemic that we call racism, whether it is due to the ins and outs of the political climate that we've discovered some things about ourselves and those that are around us that sometimes beg the question, should this continue to be a part of my life? So, when you think about the things that you are holding on to, what purpose do they serve in your life? What do they tell you about yourself? That can be a clue to why we're holding on to it. I'll give you an example. Some of us are really great at holding on to anger. Man, oh man, we are mad at everybody and everything. But sometimes our anger is just our guard. It's the emotion that's out front, and it's there to protect us from being hurt, from feeling sad, to being lost. And when we keep that anger in its firm place, it keeps us from dealing with all of the things that are lying just beyond. And if we would let that anger go, then we could face the other things that are behind it. And when we face them, we will be able to grow. It's important for us to recognize that in the whole scheme of things, we are enough. You have everything that you need. In the event that you lost everything that you have, you are what you need the most. You are enough.
Take your time, free your mind. You can find peace of mind. Take your time, free your mind. You can find peace of mind. Redefine, realign. Deep inside, we divine. Take your time, free your mind. You can find peace of mind. Take your time, free your mind. You can find peace of mind. Take your time, free your mind. You can find peace of mind. Redefine, realign. Deep inside, we divine. I know times are kinda tough right now, and nobody's showing love. You're a diamond in the rough. Love yourself, know your worth, you're enough.
Take your time, nurture your soul, embrace the highs, work through the lows, master yourself, work on your goals. Just take a breath, let go of it and grow. It can't rain forever, you won't feel this pain forever. I promise you can change for better. I know people change, and things change for better. Yeah, I know times is kinda tough right now. Ain't nobody showing love right now. You a diamond in the rough right now. Love yourself, know your worth, you enough right now. I know times is kinda tough right now, and you rather be in love right now. But you a diamond in the rough right now. Love yourself, know your worth, you enough right now.
Often the things or the people that we have lost are tied to things that are a little deeper, like our need for control, our need to belong, our need to be loved. And so when we remove those lost things, it causes us to have to face ultimately ourselves. And we begin to learn more about who we are. We're going to be using the metaphor of plants. I like plants and I like growing things. And so when we are growing things, there's usually one small component that is very important to its success: fertilizer. Fertilizer helps to nurture the plant, helps the plant to grow. And you know what most fertilizer is made from. We'll call it the old-fashioned word, dung. It comes from refuse, waste, and yet it causes things to grow. So what I want you to do is to take the list of all the things that you have learned, that you have lost throughout this year, and you're going to tear it up because we're going to make it fertilizer. And what are we going to use it to fertilize? You are going to have the opportunity to create your own microgreen garden. Now, it's not going to be as large as this, but it will give you the taste of growing a little garden and may inspire you to grow more in the future. So, the thing about this kit is it has its own source of soil that you will open up and you will have to break it apart. That's called fallowing. In real life, if you were growing, you'd have to go through the garden and take out all the rocks and all the stony places so that you could get them out of your good soil. Now, this soil that you're going to use is already filled with the nutrients that it needs. So we're going to lay all of those items that you want to let go of in that soil. And then we're going to cover it so that we can plant our seeds in that soil. And what are the seeds? The seeds are all the things that you have been praying and hoping for in your life. But maybe you haven't stopped to think about the fact that you needed to move some things away to even make room for the things that you want to grow. Sometimes you got to give a little to get a lot. And so the things that have been moved out of your life are often making room for the new. And so what you're going to have an opportunity to do is to nurture those ideas, nurture those visions that you have for you in the upcoming year, and we're going to literally plant some seeds that represent those ideas. And in the coming days, as you take care of them, as you water them, as you wait patiently for them to grow, it is going to help remind you of the goals and the dreams that you have for yourself in the upcoming year. We're going to take a moment and let our hearts and our souls be inspired by some good music that will help us to set the tone and the pace for our work to come.
The world just keeps on turning like it's never gonna stop. But we all know better than that. Enjoy every day, live it up all the way. Tomorrow doesn't come forever. Sunrise, start a brand new day, shine down on the children of the world, warm them as they play, Look at each day, sunshine or rain, isn't it beautiful? And live for today. Don't throw it away, 'cause tomorrow doesn't come forever. La da da, la da da, sunrise. Thank you for today. There ain't no tomorrow without you. You're the only way. Sunrise. Thank you for today.
So, we've said goodbye to the old. And what we have to remember is that saying goodbye is its own grief process. Sometimes the thoughts will reemerge in our minds, and we will have to speak to our spirit and remind ourselves that the best is yet to come. We'll have to remind ourselves that we are making room for all that we desire. So with your microgreens, once they are planted, you have to mist them on a daily basis. That's like speaking life to your spirit, whether it's through affirmations, whether it's through songs that inspire you, whether it's through reading quotes. Feed your soul. Feed it. It will help you to grow. It will help you to feel alive. Now, you can't soak these seeds or they will mold. So sometimes we have to allow ourselves to feed off of what we've already been fed. Because if we take so much in without giving more out, then it just sits. So we're also going to allow this water and time to have its process. In real life, when we're growing plants, we have to watch out for weeds, and we have to watch out for pests. Watch out for the people who are around you that don't value your vision the same way that you do, that might speak negativity to you. You've got to trust that your vision is for you. Now, the thing about plants is you can't see what's going on below the surface. You have to trust that the roots are taking place, that they are growing deep, and you have to watch for the buds to rise up. You can't dig up the plants each day. So as you are trusting that the plans that you have set in place are working, you can't doubt yourself. You can't keep asking yourself, is this really what I wanted to do? Is this really what I'm hoping for? You have to plant the seed and then nurture it and trust that it will grow. Now, sunlight is very important to plants. However you define your own sense of spirituality, you want to be sure to expose your life to as much of that spirituality as you can, because it will help you to grow, it will help you to bud, and it will help you to blossom and to bloom. Now, the great thing about this activity is in about 14 days, you are going to see your microgreens grow up. And I may have forgotten to mention that the cool thing about microgreens is that they are nutritionally dense. Even though they are little sprouts, they contain many times the nutrients of their full-grown counterparts. And so just like our dreams, they are rich with nourishing thoughts. So as you get to enjoy your microgreens on a salad or on their own, they're gonna remind you with each crunch and with each taste that your goals and your visions are on their way to full fruition. Keep nurturing them, keep nourishing them, and watch them grow as you throw out the old to make way for the new. We're looking for a great year. Out with the old, on with the new.